Sandra Kirby was last seen over 2 decades ago, but still there are many questions about her disappearance. Her husband has stayed mostly silent over the years, but we went to his house to get answers. Hello. Does Frank Kirby live here?
Yes, he does.
Can I speak to him?
Yeah, give me one moment.
Okay. It's been 25 years since Sandra Kirby went missing. Her husband, Frank Kirby, still lives in the house that the two shared together in Northeast Fresno.
Yes, what can I do for you?
Hi, Frank. My name is Medeiros. Can I would like to speak to you about the disappearance of Sandra. Around 11:30 Saturday morning, July 10, 1999, 52-year-old Sandra Kirby left her daughter's home near Woodward Park to go shopping. At midnight, Sandra's husband, Frank Kirby, files a missing persons report. Just 4 days later, on the 14th, her abandoned Ford Explorer found in a Target parking lot.
We did find her car in the parking lot at River Park.
Her purse and keys locked inside.
I just screamed. That was awful.
Betty Shearman is Sandra's mother. She was outspoken about the case from the very beginning.
It's so hard. It's sad. You have to be in my shoes to know what I've been going through.
The last place she was known to be was at her daughter's, and what happened after that, we still don't know.
Greg Garner is the police chief in Sanger, but back in 1999, he was a lieutenant for Fresno Police.
I was a lieutenant at the time, and I was in charge of our Crimes Against Persons Bureau, our homicide division, if you will.
His daughter attended Gibson Elementary School, the same school that Sandra taught first grade.
It was a personal thing for me, and it is, and will remain something I'll never forget.
The community desperately searched for answers, and Sandra.
What really stood out to me is how beloved she was by her community and her family, and how there was a really significant amount of pressure on us to try to find out what happened to her.
Searching in the foothills and dumbfounded by her mysterious disappearance.
She is the last person that you would think would come to any harm. She was so gentle and so loving that it just was unbelievable to all of us that she could be missing.
Sandra was never seen again. But why would a first grade teacher loved by so many drop off the face of the earth? Her husband, Frank Kirby, became a person of interest.
There were a number of things that we discovered that kind of led towards him being a person of interest, not the least of which was that he was one of the last people to know where she was and her whereabouts. And there was a time lapse, I think, if I can recall correctly, from when she disappeared to when he reported her missing.
Initially, police say Frank said he was in Fresno on July 10th, but his cell phone records showed he was in Reedley the day that she went missing.
The technology 20 years ago is not the same as it was now. Now you can literally pinpoint someone's location within feet, and back in 20 years ago it was more measured in miles, and it gave us an awful lot of area to look at, and it was too large for us to really make a significant effort to find anything.
During the investigation, police interviewed a woman claiming to be Frank's girlfriend.
Took a statement from her a couple of times, and that was one of the reasons that pointed to him as a possible person of interest.
Frank Kirby did not return my phone calls, but
CBS 47 reporter Christine Lazar covered the story.
At the time of Sandra's disappearance, Frank Kirby was working as a teacher in Kerman, living right across the street from the school, Frank Kirby's girlfriend. According to her, Kirby said he was divorced. He even proposed marriage. He also obtained a lawyer and stopped talking to police.
Betty Sherman says just days before her daughter Sandra Kirby.
Sherman claimed in an interview from 2009 that Sandra was planning to leave Frank, suspecting infidelity.
I think she went home and told him that because he's so dumb he couldn't live without her.
Sherman went further, alleging abuse by Frank, claiming family members and co-workers at Gibson Elementary saw bruises.
They saw her come to school with a fat lip and a black eye, but I never saw it myself. I think she stayed away so I wouldn't see it.
Frank hired a lawyer and refused to take a polygraph test.
Suffice it to say that he wasn't ever completely cooperating with us. He was a person of interest during the entire course of the investigation, but at some point he stopped working with us altogether. So it was difficult to move any farther with that.
Frank Kirby was never arrested or charged, and 6 years after her disappearance, a judge granted Frank's petition to have Sandra declared dead, so Frank could have her name taken off the deed to their home. Wanting answers, our station went to Frank's home, the same one that he lived in with Sandra. Initially, the 80-year-old did not answer the door. His relative did.
Hello, does Frank Kirby live here?
Yes, he does.
Can I speak to him?
Yeah, give me 1 moment.
Okay.
But then the relative went and got Frank, saying there were people and a cameraman at the front door. Frank Kirby came to the front screen, never opening it up, but speaking to us.
Yes, what can I do for you?
Hi, Frank. My name is Medeiros. I would like to speak to you about the disappearance of Sandra.
I'm not talking about that. I don't talk about that.
Okay.
So, okay? That's a long time ago. And my grandkids and I, we put that behind us. And we don't know anything.
Okay.
Okay?
Would you mind if I asked you just a couple
I
of
don't
questions?
want to answer any questions about it. There's nothing to ask. It's all been proven. So there's no big, I don't want to talk about it. You're just bringing up something and I don't like.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. I would really just love to just ask a couple of questions.
No.
Ma'am, he doesn't want to. Please leave him alone.
Okay.
You said what's been proven? What? Because I haven't heard
Sir,
of it.
he doesn't want to ask any. He doesn't want to answer any questions. Please.
It's been
leave.
over 20 years.
Yeah.
Okay? And I don't feel like I should have to answer questions to that now. Everybody's doing good
Yeah.
and everything. We wish she was here. We got pictures of her all over my house. But it's just not going to happen, I don't think. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sandra Kirby's body has never been found. Rumors online circulated that possibly it was placed in concrete being poured as part of construction at River Park.
One of the tips, if you will, that we got is that somebody had placed her body inside some wet concrete that was still forming at the time. We had zero evidence to show that that's what occurred, so it was never a viable lead.
What's your message to Frank or to anybody else out there that might be watching this?
Someone knows exactly what happened, and it would be my sincere hope that at some point they would decide that enough is enough, and they would see the need for closure for the family as well, and they would come forward and give us the information we need to close the case.
Garner does believe that this case can still be solved, especially if Sandra Kirby's body is found. I did reach out to the Fresno Police Department. They would not comment on the case. Reporting in the studio, Medeiros, CBS 47 Eyewitness News.